which is, what are the key strategies for fostering effective collaboration between customer success and other departments?
Yeah, I think I touched upon a couple of things. So what I really like is what I said is having a contract between a CS department and maybe, the revenue or the sales department as well as the marketing department, and who's doing what. I think it's important also to not to then follow along, to make sure you have an educational program in place so that you do understand the bigger picture. You want to understand the system revenue at least and who ties them. So you start with marketing and when you have a demand generation, where you see, what does marketing do to get the leads in? You also need to understand that marketing is a creative department. Just let them do their thing and accept what they do, basically, go through that. Then look at sales department, let them do their things, and then make sure you also share your journey on the post-sales on the post-acquisition part. What were your obstacles, for example, when you onboarded? For example, it's a great way to validate the ideal customer profile. So that means if sales is bringing in folks because they need to, hit their target and whatever, and you identify, let's say, 20% of these folks as not really matching up because you see this in onboarding and they don't really get to a value that you was hoping for, go back and have this conversation with a peer in sales, for example, discuss that, have a list of, these are my red flags, these are my yellow flags, my green flags, do this when you acquire things, and so on and so on. This is valuable information for marketing as well. I always like to include product because I've seen this in some situations where product is just doing their thing or have done their things. They have their own roadmap. And then occasionally they come to an all hands meeting and explain what their roadmap is. But you sit there and think like, oh, interesting. That completely doesn't resonate with what we do here in Revenue CS. But for me, it's an opportunity for you to move, for you, as again, to go and educate them, for you to make the first step, for you to break down this silo. So it happens on every single level, I think, of your organization. But if you don't demonstrate this as a CSM, for example, that you have the thinking, you do the first step. If you come to a meeting and say, like, I had a chat with my marketing peer or with my product peer, this is what we see, that's great. That gives you gravitas, that showcase your leaders, that you think outside of the box, that propels you forward. You then hit your numbers potentially or anything else. That is the way of how to progress, I think, your career. So it's very, very important to not ignore that. And as I said, to look right, left, and center.